Oh. Hey, I know, right? I would see you in a minute.
I know, it's been only like an hour.
You still able to do it super quick? I just might not be able to stay the whole time and I want to be able to get it covered.
Oh. That's just exactly it. Yeah, I figured. There's a lot of questions. No, this is excuse me, someone just came in and they parked a blue van right on the other side of the street. We asked that you go move it to the parking lot, please.
This is out.
That's no man.
This is gonna be amazing. That a lot of groups from Rochester apply for this funding because it is statewide funding and not just within the city of Rochester.
Those are the types of organizations that we would help apply for this and go for this funding to accomplish their goals.
Well, we want the nonprofits, we want the small nonprofits who are doing the work on the ground in areas of civic engagement, education, wealth building, workforce development, capacity building, all of those things, criminal justice. We want those groups to really apply.
What are you looking forward to out of tonight and the rest of this process?
I'm looking forward to people understanding what the process is, actually completing the application and just giving us some feedback on what we could do better. Because like I said, this is our first time doing this tour.
Seeing that it's the first time that you're getting this funding, talk about how significant that is and how important it is for you and for the rest of the community.
Oh, this funding is a big deal for our community. The Black Task Force worked really hard with our Speaker Carl Hasty and Majority Leader Andrew Stewart Cousins, as well as the governor, to get it done. We're not the only ones that received this funding. The Puerto Rican Task Force received $30 million. The AAPI Task Force also received $30 million. So we've all worked collectively, and we hope that next year when we work together, we can get even more funding.
For those who might not know, what is it that the task force does?
Oh, the New York State Black Legislative Task Force is made up of 35 members from the Senate and the Assembly of Black Legislatures. And we basically work to make sure that Black people are heard, seen, and can thrive in the state of New York.
Anything I missed that you really want to touch on? Anything people should know?
I think that's it.
Perfect. If people didn't come to me today, but they want to learn about the application, what should they do?
So if you cannot make it to this event, then you can always find us online at NYSBL
Task Force.
All of our information is there. Sign up to get our newsletter, get our emails, and continue to follow us.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
So sorry.
NYSBL
Task Force.
We have it too. So
Clear.
You got anything? Okay, hold it down. Good. Like you take it back to take back.
First of all, that was. That's why I choose. Don't do that. So she said, you're gonna be okay. Okay. I know. I said, you Have a seat, continue your meal.
Reserve seats for now. You can leave the other two, just the first. Yeah.
Oh, Tracy. I made myself.
That's what she said.
You got your size, you size, you don't see it. Maybe it's just that I. I miss you so much, buddy. So that's what you see. What do you know? Just.
I know, I got a big.
Just so you guys know. The seats in the front are open. I know they got reserved on it. But it was really just for you guys you guys are part of the reserve. So if you want to grab a seat in the front, so. I don't know, these may be the lucky seats. I don't know. 30 mil on the line. But, all right, so. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our, what stop is this?
11th.
The 11th stop on our New York State Black Task Force listening tour for the $30 million we got in the budget for our nonprofit. Rochester is in the house. Thank you for being here. I'm here as city member Chantal Jackson. I have the privilege and honor to chair the New York State Black Legislative Task Force, who worked extremely hard to get this funding in the budget. And so we want to make sure that it is spent correctly, that it gets to the people that we wanted it to get to, and you're going to learn about the application in this city. This is the first time we're actually talking about the application. Every group before this did not get the presentation that you guys are getting today. So Rochester, of course, is special, and now you're going to have a special presentation. I'm going to allow my colleagues to introduce themselves and say thank you to our hosts and everyone who's fed us today.
Thank you. So I'm Assemblyman Demond Beeks. Welcome to the 137th Assembly District, and thank you all for being present. I just want to, you all are indulging. I want to shout out UPrep, the young men of UPrep. You see the culinary arts program. If you move it back, it's got quiet. It's not. And that chicken is Bobo's famous chicken sauce. It's the truth. I hope he kept some of the cooking with. Pastor Marty, just want to say thank you, and thank you to the Union Baptist Church. And this is something that is true to heart. We talk to our communities, we talk to our constituents, we know so many of the challenges of the not-for-profits, and we just thought it necessary to take the extra step to fight for additional resources. And we're also in conversation with leadership as it relates to ways that money comes out. We often hear about some of those challenges that you all deal with on a day-to-day, on a year-to-year basis. And we look forward to hearing from you on that as well. So again, thank you for being here this evening, and we look forward to engaging.
Hello, everyone. Senator Somber Root, your other. Thank you. I got one applause. I'm no Demond Beeks. Listen, I never pretend to be. But I also wanted to welcome you all and to welcome our Madam Chair of the Black Task Force, Assembly Member Jackson here. And so, you know, I wanted to just take a minute for some of you to hear some of the background of how we got here. I think it's really, really important. And I think it's really important that we have our chair here and we have our other fellow assembly member, Anderson, here with us as well. Because none of this happens just, you know, nonchalantly. It doesn't just happen. This took a lot of coordinated effort. And that first effort was actually creating the New York State legislative task. That did not exist when I entered office, right? That's why you're just now hearing about us. This is something that Black legislators led, that we finally have enough of us in the Senate and the Assembly to really work together and to critically think about what our communities need. Not just those of us who represent majority Black communities, but those of us who are Black legislators ourselves and wanting to make sure that we are looking at everything we do with an equity lens. And it's not all about, it truly isn't about everyone getting the same. It's about actual fairness. Who has been left out? Who has never been considered? Who has never had the resources to jump through the right hoops or know where the hoops are to access some of the state funding? And I'll say this several times if they give me a mic throughout this day, that we could not have done it without our chair, Assembly Member Chantal Jackson. And y'all need to give her a nice round of applause. She's from all the way down to the Bronx. And let me tell you, the number of times she's been up here to Rochester this year alone, she is repping. And so, as you all know, you never know Rochester until you come to Rochester. And so we're so grateful that she prioritizes her upstate colleagues to better understand what it is we need. And I want to say, we were sitting right here, Demond, with a number of other federal legislators, 2 years ago in this room. And I remember sitting with you because people were asking us, how do we access all this funding? y'all have not built this for us to get. And I remember thinking, oh yeah, we really gotta fix that. We gotta work on that. So here we are. This is us addressing that. It's trying to bring these $30 million to organizations that need it. So I hope that you will take advantage of this time of having us here, of having some of our experts here. And please note what the chair said. This is special, Rochester. No one else got this. I just want you to all know, okay? So Rochester is special. We're lucky 11. 11 to stop, and we want you to write down every word you see here. I want the most competitive applications. I think, can I say? You will, okay, yeah, I'll go later. All right, she's gonna do a pitch to you later. But let me just say, y'all make me proud, okay? I want some good applications. I want them strong, I want them tight, and we're gonna take some of this money for our community, okay?
81.
So, thank you.
But not for Rockford.
And I'm gonna introduce my colleague here, Assemblymember Cleo Anderson. Can you see?
All right, I'll stand up because folks around this pillar can't see me. I'm Assemblymember Khalil Anderson, and I represent parts of Southern Queens in New York City. I'm really excited to be here again today in the Rock here with Assemblymember Demond Meeks. I represent the 31st Assembly District in Queens, and I also serve as the secretary for the Black Legislative Task Force. I'm really grateful that we're going to have an opportunity today to present to you all how this $30 million can be spent to help address some of the issues that are faced here in Rochester. So I'm grateful to be here today. I'm gonna kick it back over to our chairwoman.
All right. So, like we said, we're gonna talk about the application, and we have one more colleague that will join us, and we'll introduce him when he gets here. Once we talk through the application, why are you thinking all good to me? I forgot about Therese. After we do that, we'll answer any questions that you all have, but we have to make sure that our fiscal conduit, who has been with us almost every single stop of these 11 stops, Therese Daly, gets to say who she is and what she's doing there.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Thank you so much, Assemblymember Meeks. Thank you, Pastor March. Thank you, Assemblymember Anderson, and thank you, Senator Crook. It's such a pleasure to be in the house. My best friend in the whole world lives in Rochester, so it is just such an honor to be here, and I am so excited. So my name is Grace. I'm the president of the United Way of New York State. So I have 32 United Ways that I have over, but we need to do a bit of applause for the United Way of Greater Rochester and Finger Lakes, because there is no team better than James Saunders, and representing person is Robert DeLeon. If you don't know them, please do. They are just doing phenomenal work, and there's no one that cares more about what you are doing than Jamie and her team. So thank you, and thank you for being here. And I am proud to be one of your fiscal conduits. There are a few of us. Unfortunately, fortunately for you, I'm representing all of them tonight. But it is just an honor to read through the applications and be part of this process. So thank you for what you're doing. Get your applications in. The deadline is the 17th. And thank you again, Madam Chair.
So how many days until the 17th?
4 days.
4 days.
4 days.
4 days. And so 2 weekend days, but we work. We're gonna continue to work, so we should get it done. And so we're going to start presenting the application. We have 4 days. I know it's a short turnaround time. We're going to work through every single question that is there. Not telling you what to put on there, but reading through so you can see for yourself what it looks like. If you have not, has anyone filled out the application yet? Started? Okay. All right. So starting is good. Starting is good. It's 3 pages, so
That's not wrong.
she's looking, what? What's that face mean? Okay. All right.
Come on, Aqua, you got this.
And so you start, okay, so Therese is gonna walk us through. I just wanted to give you some preliminary stuff. Just because you are here does not mean that you are going to get the funding, right? And this $30 million is across the state of New York, so it's not all for Rochester. I know, but listen, if you have the best application, you got the best application. So far we've had over 100 groups apply. So yes, so we have over 100 groups apply, and last time I checked, there were 4 from Rochester, but of course that could have increased since I last checked. So $30 million, and that. Follow us on our social media page, New York State Black Legislative Task Force is NYSBL Task Force. It should be up there somewhere. Wait, there's, oh,
Can we
I
ask them to
forgot.
take their phones to follow us now?
oh, Khalil, see? Khalil said, take your phone out.
Please take your phone.
Follow us on, that's right. Follow us on our social media page, because that's where you get to get all the updates. A lot of people were already following us and they saw when the application dropped, which was only 2 weeks ago. So you want to stay in contact with us. All of our contact information is here. Now, I know that they're all this clapping for me, but truly, I do nothing without our executive director, Garcia Williams, who is right here. Come on, she's a real organizing all of the form and deal with our fiscal conduits. Let me give you the list of how many we have. So we have United Way, we have New York Urban League, we have FPWA, we have LCOR, and we have LISC NYC.
And New York.
LISC, okay.
LISC NY.
Okay. LISC is the only one's application that is not out right now. So the other 4 that I mentioned, they have one application that you guys are going to see now. And LISC, who's going to focus in on housing and economic development, their one application is not out yet. So what areas are we looking for our nonprofit funding to go to? It's for areas that deal with capacity building, for civic engagement, criminal justice, education, workforce development,
Arts and culture
arts and culture.
and workforce development.
I said
You said
that.
that?
See, I just forgot. Oh, health. Duh. Health. So those are the areas that we want this funding to support our community and our district. So here we are. We're ready to go. I'm turning it over to Teresa.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. And just on a note for health, that includes the behavioral, mental, and physical. So that we really do want to cover that, but that is not limited to. So if you find that your category falls under health, hit health and let's do it. So I want you just please, as I say this, apply. I think that if you remember anything that I'm telling you, it's apply. Put your ideas on paper or Google form, as the case may be, and get your ideas submitted and submit your application. When you go to the application, I'm just gonna put this out there. I am under strict orders not to give any sort of help as one of the fiscal conduits. So I'm going to be all legal and proper when I say this, but there is an FAQ sheet at the beginning of the form. Oh, you got it. Oh,
They're
great.
in your hand.
Amazing.
You not have to, who doesn't have this sheet in their hand? Okay, go right there to that table. Oh, this young lady's coming to you. Thank you. Anybody else not have the, there's some people over here. Now, how y'all got it here without? Make sure you sign in though. Do not leave here without signing in, because that's how we keep you abreast of what's happening. So make sure you sign in. Okay. In the application stuff. See.
Oh, great, awesome. And so you're going to be, so a lot of the questions that you may have, or you've been thinking about, or while you're filling out the application you may have, will be on that FAQ sheet. Instead of the FAQ sheet, instead of a listening kind of interactive webinar, we did the FAQ sheet, just so that everybody had access to it. You didn't have to watch the recording or anything. So just keep that FAQ sheet close by, and if not, when you look at the Google form, it is at the top for you as well, just in case you lose the sheet. So just wanted to start to go over a few of the things. Again, I cannot tell you at all or suggest anything that you fill in, but I am going to walk you through some of the things that are critical to the application for you.
Yeah.
So organization name, it's pretty self-explanatory. You're going to want to make sure that you use the organization address. That is where the organization is located. If you have multiple locations of your organization, please choose the main one. You're going to go down through the rest of that address again.
Everyone here.
Get to the back, you can't see, come to the front. Yes.
Yeah, and break the call and hear me. That is the moving out.
Okay, we seem to be good. Okay. So organization website, year of incorporation, tax identification, EIN. You must be a 501c3 to apply for this funding. If you are a business, please do not apply. This is for nonprofits. Do you want me to take questions now? No. Karen? Okay. We'll circle back. And so please put your determination letter uploaded here, please. Again, you will not be able to submit a full application if you have not submitted the required documentation. I cannot emphasize that enough. Most of these are self-explanatory, organization mission. And then these are just some critical questions that we ask that you consider while you answer. Does a majority, so that's over 51% of your organization's senior leadership, board of directors, and staff self-identify as members of a historically marginalized or underrepresented racial or ethnic group? Which is asked that you take consideration. Remember why this funding is here, why we are here, what is the purpose of this funding when you fill out the application. So you will find a couple questions related to this as you fill out. I would also please come with examples showing how your organization's programming, outreach, and advocacy are designed by and for communities that have been historically excluded or underrepresented. I would ask that you take this part of the application pretty seriously, as it gives us a really good idea of your long-term influence and effect into your project.
What is this?
So this, thank you, Madam Chair, for asking. So this is the areas that we are hoping to be able to have as featured as part of the recipients of funding. These are targeted areas that we feel are critical. Now, I want to be clear. I would ask that you fill out the areas that you are present in. I know I keep doing it, but so please feel free to check as many as possible. Again, I do just want to remind you, this is statewide funding. So we have 30 million that is statewide. So it's exciting because we have 30 million that's statewide. Fortunately, we have 30 million that is statewide. We could easily spend that 30 million right here in Rochester. Right. So I just want to remind you that this is statewide funding. So please take very seriously when you do check your area where it is. Okay, again, I'm gonna emphasize this. One application per organization. One application per organization. If you apply for multiple, slap hand, we'll take the first one that you have applied for. But please don't, because that makes more work for us. So one application, one organization. Then also for application funding category, please choose one. You may utilize in the verbiage as you write up other concepts as well, but I would ask that you please choose one and focus on that one category.
Wait, we not seeing the program description.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so for here, program description and impact. So
Like
a
legislator,
detailed description
legislative
of the
task force,
proposed project
Zoom
or
call.
program. So this should include as much specifics as possible. So again, in your drafting of your application, and as you think about this, just be prepared to go in as specific as possible. Again, depending on the nature of the program, you might not be able to go as in-depth as some, but please go as specific as possible as the directions indicate. So, and I would just say, relating to the program sustainability and challenges, we are so blessed to have this for the first time, again, thanks to the leadership of Madam Chair. And we will be inviting you to advocate this next legislative session to continue this funding. But as of right now, this is a one-time fund. So we have to have very careful thoughtfulness in each step so that we can advocate our next legislative session for continued funding. So when you apply for this year's funding, we're hoping that it's a long-term continual funding. But we need your help in advocating in Albany come this February and March to continue this funding. So we have no guarantees, but you can bet we're going to be advocating through the halls of Albany for it. Please have ready for you the number of individuals that you anticipate to be able to serve. An estimate is fine, as well as target populations. Again, estimates are fine.
Wait, sorry.
We're back, okay.
So this is page 1. And just because I need you guys to say, it says in addition to your description above, does your program have a specific focus on serving any of the following populations? And what's listed there is at-risk youth, the teens, individuals aging out of foster care, individuals or families experiencing homelessness, individuals with families with justice system involvement, criminal justice, LGBTQIA+, people with disabilities, returning citizens, survivors of domestic violence, or not. So just so you guys can see it. All right, this is our first page. Doable, right? It's doable. Okay, let's get to the second page. Do it. All right. Just read this. Just read what this says, because I think this is important.
The funds may be used for operational.
Oh,
Oh, did you want to start this?
The funds may be used for operational, administrative, or other ancillary expenses in direct support of the activities proposed and cannot be used for capital expenses. Please ensure the expenses you list in the application form correspond to your grant request and reflect only the funds you are requesting from the fiscal conduits of the NYSBLT. Applicants must provide a 12-month budget that is clear and realistic, that demonstrates precisely how the requested funds will be used. This concise financial overview must align directly with the project's proposed activities, outcomes, and our organization's capacity, and your organization's capacity. The budget should also address how the applicant's program operations might be sustained beyond the grant period. Budgets must be proportionate to the proposed work and reflect sound financial management. All budgets must comply with the initiative's funding parameters. Funding cap awards will be capped according to a sliding scale based on the applicant's organizational budget.
And I would just reiterate from that, wonderfully said. All applications must provide a 12-month budget. That is an absolute must.
And even if you don't speak.
I'm sorry.
And I know you see the caps here, right? $1 million to $1,000,099. Even if you don't fit within these parameters, I want you still to apply. Remember, this is our first time doing it, and things may have to shift and change. And if you've never applied, you say, oh, well, you know, I didn't meet the requirement, and you don't apply, then we won't be able to support the changes that could happen later on down the line. So I just want you all, I know you see this here, but don't be discouraged and not apply, still apply, because there may be some changes we have to do to address additional groups that may not fit into these parameters. So you see the cost of the total cost of the programs we asked for, total amount of funding requested, okay? And then See personal services. And what is this?
So, personnel services.
Oh, personnel services.
Yep, so all staff positions you anticipate being part of this project. And I would go, again, you'll see everything that we're asking for in the application, but please be, liberal in your documentation. So for non-personnel services, you must follow the general instructions. So shared costs, that would be rent and utilities. You must describe the methodology for allocating. So, for example, X amount of rent or number of employees. So, $2,000 per month for rent for 5 full-time employees would be an example.
So that is page 2 of the application. All right. Now
This is
here's
the
where
last
you
page. Yes. So
last page, made it.
yeah, this is your final page. So your IRS 990 filing, your most recent fiscal year organizational budget, or your audited financial statement, as well as your New York State Char 500. And then underneath that, key leadership and personnel bios. These are for the individuals that you will have listed previously or your C-suite.
I think Dorcia is gonna show you what that looks like.
Oh.
She has a template.
I was
for
gonna
key
say,
leadership bio.
at the beginning of the application, we have templates for you, just in case you don't have them yourself.
So here's the template for your key leadership personnel template. All right, so you see that, and when you click on the application, you'll see it for yourself. And then you click another thing. Oh, board of directors list. Okay, so this is what you can just list all your board of directors for your nonprofit. Okay, fill that out, upload, send it back to us. All right, let's go back to the application. All right. So you're gonna upload all of those things there, and then you have to attest your statement. Everything you saying there is true. The main person of contact, the executive director or equivalent, they want to put their information there, and you click submit. You are done. You are done. You have done the most that you can do at this point. And then next, the hard part is for our fiscal conduits to start vetting, and their deadline to have gone through all these applications and submitting it to our Department of State is by December 1st. So that's why the turnaround time for us was so quick. And just so you guys know, this is our first time doing it, right? The Department of State is where the money is going to be flowing through. They told us the deadline of November 17th. I think, I'm sorry. They told us the deadline of December 1st, and we started creating our application, which is why we had that quick turnaround. So my apologies in advance, but what I do know, sometimes when we're under pressure, we move a lot faster. I'm a procrastinator, so I don't need long, drawn out deadlines. I'm gonna wait till the last day anyway. And if you're like me, we need that short turnaround time, so we'll get it done and get it in. But that is, you literally walk through the entire application. So, Tracy, anything else before me?
Yes, I just wanted to say one last thing. So we did a peripheral walkthrough, but I encourage you tonight to go through this application. If you are planning on applying, go through the application, and at the beginning of the application on that main page, there is a help email that you can contact. I am going to say this, look through the application, and if you have questions, email that email today. You do not want to do it later and then at risk of not hearing back. We're going to answer the emails as much as possible, as quick as possible, but I would just ask that you look through the application, you email that email if you have any questions, just so that you can get the information that you need and your application can be submitted. And again, thank you and good luck. We look forward to reading all of your amazing applications.
So the application, oh, sorry, Demond went to flag. It's all right. The application had a section for smaller grants. Yeah. Is that still there? Cause I didn't see it. Is there?
Yes, it's at the beginning, Madam Chair. So when you are on that main page, you have the option to apply for the bigger pot, which is one pot, and then a smaller operational grant, which is under 25,000. So you can only submit one application, not one each, one application. You just have to choose the route that you would like to go. Yep, exactly.
Okay, so the first one we did was the big one, the big
Yes.
pot, and this is the second.
This is
The second is smaller.
Yep.
Is this one, is it the same questions?
It's on a smaller scale.
Okay. So, is it still 3 pages?
I believe that it is
Okay,
3 pages. It's just spread out a little bit more.
okay. Dorcia is trying to just fill in some stuff so you can see what the next page would look like. Everything with an asterisk, clearly have to put something in there for, so she just wants to make sure she puts something there. She's uploading fake documents, don't do this. Just so we can get through, the application so you guys can see it. These are all the questions, all the things that you answered in the other, application we showed you.
And just as a friendly reminder, obviously, we still need the same paperwork because we still need to know that you're a 501c3.
Amen.
So,
All right, phone number. Okay, same question as before. I just want you guys to just see the target areas again. Keep going.
and again, just as a reminder, this is a reimbursable grant, so just acknowledge that too and know that as you do, again, go ahead with the grant application.
So the max was 25,000.
Yep.
You can choose art, culture. All right. Same questions as before. Description and impact, program implementation, the amount of clients you're going to interact with, description of that. Let's keep going.
We still want to know the additional focus on serving.
And then here's the explanation again. So everything looks the same. You guys seen everything, it pretty much looks the same. Same thing with personnel. Okay. Same stuff about the cost. What's OTCF again?
Other than
Personnel.
other than personnel expenses.
Other than personnel expenses, okay, going. I just want you guys to see how simple it is. And here you are, you upload your documents the same way. Attest who you are, agree that everything that you wrote is correct and accurate, and you submit. So that's both applications.
And Senator Brooke just reminded me to say this because I apologize, I hadn't. This is you are given a disbursement. It's not, you don't have to spend the money. We give out the distribution to you. So it's not reimbursable because we give you a small check up to 25,000.
This pot specifically.
This pot specifically.
This
Yes,
is
this
out.
This pot specific.
This pot
Nobody takes
only.
$1 billion.
Yeah, this pot
If the
specifically.
man said you need 5,000, it's the grant.
Yep.
We'll figure it out.
Yes. So, yep, so this is,
And you have to still submit the same paperwork. So if you say that you're going to do youth development and you just need $10,000 for the event, you're gonna have to still submit all your records to say what you spent this money on. We need every invoice, all those things are still gonna be required. So, I think we're opening it up to questions now, so we will, I guess, put the mic back. Okay. And then you guys can come up to the mic and ask any questions that you want. Oh, this is nice. Okay, and then, mindful of time, I think there's a 3-minute limit on question and answer. Damani said 2 minutes, so 5 minutes, not me.
My question is, do you tend to upload the sharp 500 for the small thing?
Yes.
Yes. I was studying to upload your tripod. Yes. All right.
Good evening. My name is Lori Thomas, and I just handed you 2 pages of pictures. These residential units are open, not surrounded by fencing, as are the residential units in the next photos, because these units do not have fence barriers. They can be used to shelter individuals and families who find themselves without shelter. There are also units that are enclosed with fencing and were used to house individuals who require more direct confinement. Why aren't these units being used to provide an alternative to jail for our children and young adults who are committed nonviolent crimes in the community? All of these units are in close proximity to mental social services, mental health services, family and child services, strong hospitals, 501c3s. More of just replicate services. In Rochester, $1 million were given to just 2 not-for-profits without an RFP because they supposedly provided services that no other 501c3 did. These residents, and I think what you're all forgetting here is this is not just funding, these are taxpayer dollars. These are taxpayer dollars, and these units behind the John Norris and L. Siegel Centers on South Avenue are becoming dilapidated. They were purchased with taxpayer dollars. They are becoming dilapidated, and they will probably either be rehabbed or removed with taxpayer dollars. Why aren't they being used to house our most vulnerable? Thank you so much. Most vulnerable, I get emotional with this. Most vulnerable people. There are buildings on this property that can house the 501c3s that can work together to provide the services, all of the services that you're talking about that these individuals would be privy to. Okay, it's right on the main area. This is a sin and a shame that these properties behind Norris Center are becoming dilapidated. They're huge, huge properties that belong to the people of the state of New York. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad she came up here because I want you guys to know this money is about the $30 million that the New York State Black Legislative Task Force is getting. So if you have questions about this funding, this application, this is what we're here for. If you need any solutions based on what's happening in the district, you guys have your representative. You can talk to them at any point, make an appointment with their office. But I just want you guys to be mindful. We're talking about $30 million that the New York State Black Legislative Task Force got by a nonprofit.
Thank you. Yes, agreed, Madam Chair. Also, knowing that I think that location specifically is in the 55th district. If you don't leave and want to just find my team, we can follow up with you on that. Right now, Stephanie, thank you.
Very specific questions. Is the money going to be segregated in the 30 million for a small part for the small groups and the part for the large?
I'm sorry, there's a request for quiet in the back. So if everyone in the back can be quiet, take your conversation outside the door, that'd be helpful. Thank you. Now ask your question again.
Is the money going to be segregated into, of the 30 million, this much is for the small groups, this much is for the large groups?
Yes, it's already done in that way. No, he's saying for the small groups, there's a $250,000 set aside for the small groups, and the rest is for the larger groups.
So only 10 small groups can get to their.
Well, you may not be doing 25,000. You may say, I'm doing 5,000. I need 7,000.
On the address, is it the physical address or the mailing address, the legal address?
It's the legal address. Whatever you put down on your chart 500 and your whatever that is, that's what you use.
Good thing you brought up chart 500 and 990. Yeah. Currently, the IRS is about 9 months backlogged on the 990s. State Department, the Attorney General's office is backed up on chart 500s. There are many small not-for-profits that are in pending status and other kinds of statuses because they flipped last year from the mail submission to the electronic submission. And there are a lot of us that are sitting out there waiting for determinations or actions on things that we've sent in over 18 months ago.
Yep.
Waiting on that, can we still apply and will we still be eligible if those things have not yet come through and it's a delay at the federal level or state level?
So we absolutely have to have in that application, your trauma 500 and 990, it has to exist in the application. What you could ask though is whoever your representative is to call the AG's office, because her office is the one that handles trauma 500, and see if we can get some support on getting that to you within the time frame. If it's not possible, that means this pot of money is not available to that.
Are Iowa ones eligible? The ones, we have ones that like were 2023
What's the update on?
and we're waiting for the 2024s to be uploaded or whatever.
Oh, for nine, yeah.
For 990s.
Yeah.
So I would, as long as you have a 501 determination letter, submit your most recent forms. Okay, and if we have
That's a good
questions, we'll
question.
reach out.
Thank you for that.
Sal Harris, community activist.
Oh, the mic. Put it up, yeah.
Sal Harris, community activist. Not here for any money, but I will say, Madam Chair, thank you for having this. And I used to drive a cab in the Bronx.
Praise God.
So from Fordham Road in the house.
Amen.
Earlier this year, a Monroe County nonprofit, the Community Resource Collaborative was dissolved by court order for mishandling $1 million that was intended for other nonprofits. What oversight do you have? And I want to know exactly that 30 million, how much of that would actually go for salaries? Because, you've seen some extravagant salaries at nonprofit organizations. I'm glad to see that they got on paper here. There are certain expenditures that are not eligible for funding. Alcohol, I'm glad to see that. Out of state and out of country travel, prizes and awards, lobbying, fundraising, fines and penalties, taxes, and so forth. For me, the important thing is that when we have nonprofit organizations, the money should be used for those that are going to serve and not for salaries. I think that I'm always a red flag comes up when I see nonprofits because I want to know who is getting the money and actually where the money is going. We have to have accountability, especially in this day and age, where we see that's going on. But thank you for hosting it, and thank my favorite public official here. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I was just wanted to speak, sir, to your comments. Thank you again for coming up, and being here and all that you do. We are very focused on making sure the money that has been allocated is going back into communities. That is such a critical part and a critical focus. Shut up. Okay.
Oh, yeah, answer the question.
One, that is a huge priority. We've put salary, not because we anticipate giving people raises or anything like that. We wanted to put it towards staff time.
Right.
That is the only focus. And when we see the budgets and we look them over, if we see any red flags or any questions, we will be addressing it. But it's not meant to be at all giving anyone a bonus or anything like that. Just wanted to confirm that with you.
Well, thank you very much for explaining that.
Absolutely.
Sorry for the beat.
We're here for programming.
Just a couple of questions. One, you mentioned that the list application has not come out just yet. And you can only apply one time. So does that include both the list application that's for
Yes.
housing only and the other one? And then what is the turnaround time for the reimbursement?
That is a great question.
It's like somebody's had state funding.
The reason why we laugh is because we know how slow state funding, turnaround time is. And the answer is, we don't know. But I can just tell you, our AAPI brothers and sisters have done this at least 3 years now.
Yeah.
And their last time distributing the funding from last year, they got in April of the year after, right? Am I right in saying that, Josie? April of this year? So the 2024 funding that they started, they got in April of 2025. So just to give you an idea of what's been happening, but we have no clue what's gonna actually happen.
And that's no guarantee.
And that's no guarantee, yes.
Yes. Thank you.
God, Exactly, don't be done.
Thank you for taking my question, and my question is, my question is for organizations with program operations under $1 million, so that come in at $500,000. What is the cap for the program budget for the program? Yeah, what is the cap that we can apply for the program operations?
So-
$500,000.
Right, I'm with you. And so that was my question too, to the fiscal conduits. And what they determined from that anyone under $1 million should be applying for the smaller grants.
For the smaller group.
Yeah.
For the $25,000.
$25,000, yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
But if you guys have any suggestions? Oh, just use the reference. Hold on.
Groups that are under the. Groups that are under the $1 million, dollar budget can still apply for the, $100,000 to $500,000 grants. So that is still available and possible if you'd like to apply for the $1,000, the $100,000 or $500,000 grants.
Which grant is that?
That's the second track on the application. So there's that track or the $25,000 track. So either or, even if you're under the budget, you can still apply for that.
Thank you.
All right, what she said. Before Madam speaks, I just want to also acknowledge that our colleague Brian Cunningham, Assembly Member Brian Cunningham is here. Just want to allow him to introduce himself and the.
Good evening, everyone. How you doing, Rochester? How you doing, Rochester? I say Brooklyn, how you doing? It's noise. I'm from New York City, Brooklyn. Took me a little while to get up here today, but have enjoyed being in Rochester this week. Excited to support my colleagues, the Honorable Senator, in terms of getting the resources on the ground to the people who need it most. I'm going to listen, answer questions, and most importantly, draw it on the fund. So thank you so much for having me.
Brian, you drove?
I did.
He drove from Brooklyn, guys. I drove from the
Flight was delayed, so I.
Yeah, that's why we drove, because we knew the flight was gonna be delayed. Khalil, we took the flight, so. But go ahead.
Okay, I have a couple of questions. So we are an organization that has multiple locations across the state, and we serve the entire state north of the city and Long Island. For our budget, we were thinking of applying for the $25,000 grant. For our budget, should we include, like you were talking about, including the rent for your places? I mean, how much of that should we include in the budget should we include all of our locations, all of our employees, what do you recommend?
So I have to be so careful because again, I am tied to. I have to be so careful because I am legally bound to not advise on an application, but I will say, as you look at the application, if it asks for a budget, what do you consider in your budget you should put down? So that's what I would say to you.
Okay. That's not a lot of guidance. The other thing that I am wondering is, so oftentimes we apply for grants, and even though if we ask for $50,000, we might get $35,000. Is this going to be a similar situation? Or like if we ask for $25,000, might we get $15,000 or something similar?
Well, again, nothing is guaranteed, unfortunately, but as my parents have always said, to raise root for the aim for the stars. So that's what I will tell you. Always.
Asking if I made it.
Yes.
I mean, if I ask 50.
Yeah.
I mean, I get 50.
Yes.
It's all or nothing.
Right, yes.
So this is our first year. So I can't really tell you based off of experience. But again, I would say, from what I'm allowed to say, is always go higher and see what happens.
Time.
Okay, but you do,
Time.
percentages,
But
please.
think that there might be grants that are less than what an applicant asks for.
She's not gonna answer that. Yeah. Okay. I'm a protector today. And I think the best thing to do in those situations is to fill out the application and ask the question because they have the email there, ask there. And I can only tell you what has happened with the AAPI groups. They had to redistribute money before because groups weren't able to spend it down. So there were situations where groups received more money than they thought they were going to get.
How do they handle that?
Oh, I don't know, that's not, I'm not on their task force. But what I just know that in situations, so if they received $30 million and the groups, that they gave the money to only spent 20 million, then they have to figure out what to do with the 10 million. We're not gonna tell the governor we didn't spend out the money. We gotta spend every single dollar so we can go back the next year and say we need more. So we're going to have to figure it out. You're not giving back one penny.
I will leave it on that.
Not a doubt.
I like you though. Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kim Scott. I'm here representing Alternatives to Violence Project. You're talking about fiscal conduits. What exactly is a fiscal conduit? And does that mean that the money from this $30 million grant is going to be funneled through the conduits to whoever gets the grant here in the city?
Yes.
Literally.
Literally.
So the Department of State is the state agency that's holding the $30 million. They don't have the time, energy, effort, or personnel to go through every last one of these applications. So we get a fiscal conduit. The fiscal conduit is going to take all your information, give it to the Department of State. The Department of State's gonna say yes and no, but they're gonna do all the legwork. That's why we have the fiscal conduit, because no one else is able to do that amount of vetting that has to happen. And so, yes.
One other question. I know that there's a grant that we are just finishing up with. We have had to get, we have had to get money, in order to, this is the whole reimbursement thing, and, you know, so is that the same thing that happens with this particular grant, or these grants, this grant?
Yeah, the whole thing is reimbursed. It's with the exception of the smaller community. So yes, everything's reimbursed. But you have to be able to spend it out. That's why it's important. You got to network and meet with each other, raise funding however you can, so you can have something in the bank so you can get more funding to do the work that you guys do.
New York State grant, MWBE requirements, disabled veteran requirements. Yes.
Are you asking if
Yeah,
you have those requirements?
if those will be in effect for this New York State grant.
I don't know. They never gave us that requirement.
No.
It's on this application. You saw it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's on, they said it's on the application. I missed it. My apologies. So yes, they say yes. Alright, that's what I did.
Comments. 25 years, legislative budget director, Ways and Means, Senate Finance.
Come on now.
You know.
You know how this goes.
The $250,000 set aside for small groups, too small. It's just way too small. You need to, you need to add zero to that. Because what you're gonna end up with is 25 agencies getting $1 million and $1.5 million, and then 10 agencies fighting over 250,000. There are so many folks in this group that are below the threshold. You can make more, you can feed more people if you increase the smaller group.
We agree. It's just that we have $30 million and it's not, if it was up to us, we would reimburse, we would have the whole thing be a grant, right? It's not up to me, but everything you said, we brought back to leadership.
Okay.
Now, you know.
I'll call Phil. I'll call Phil.
You call Phil.
I'll call Phil.
They gave us 25% upfront, and I had to get us the 25% upfront. So you call Phil, you tell him, and Phil's not the last deciding factor. You call.
I understand. Conduits.
Yes.
What will be the way in which you will determine and rank the application such that folks need to know, well, this is gonna be judged higher than this. Let me put this at the front of the application.
We have not Thank you for the question and thank you for your service. We have not decided that, and even if we did, I could not publicly disclose that.
You can't even disclose the rubric?
No, because we don't have one that is publishable.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening. I got here a little bit late, but I'm not sure if you guys covered this or not. But can a nonprofit that is applying for this grant partner with other organizations that are receiving like a DRI grant? Or
What's a DRI grant?
Downtown revitalization.
Oh, downtown revitalization initiative?
yeah, everything's coming from the State Department, right?
Yeah.
So this is coming from the State Department, the DRI comes from the State Department, New York Forward comes from the State Department. And so I'm just wondering if there's anything that precludes any not-for-profits from partnering with some of these other organizations.
Oh, it's different pots of money. Yeah, these are all different pots of money.
Well, yeah, I know that, but,
So then,
You could layer it, right?
okay, so.
Yeah.
So there's no problem with
No.
that.
This part
Alright.
has to be specific.
I was just gonna say though, yeah, it has, so I understand what you're asking,
Just like you did there.
but
this one
technically.
will be one not together.
But technically, this is a project based specific to this pot of money for this purpose.
Okay.
So technically, it's great that there's other funding towards organizations, but this is project based and program based.
At the same time, we can partner with people in Buffalo and Syracuse also.
What do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
to do your
expand-
program? What do you mean?
So this is a reimbursable grant. And
So
so you
qualify?
can have, I believe a lady said that they had multiple operations, different parts of the state. So I always try to facilitate working with other organizations and other communities to try to bring everybody up.
I don't think I understand.
Are you asking to co-apply?
For the same project. So for the same project,
Multi-collaboration.
Okay.
Got it.
okay, but for the same project,
Yeah.
okay. Well, okay, sassy. I'm trying to understand what you're saying. Okay, so.
It comes across a little bit.
Yeah, I'm like, your sass meter is like, but I'm with you, and I want you to apply, and I want to get there together. But what I would say is, if you are going on the project, and having multiple different, for the project, you're having multiple different parts and hubs of it across a certain area, co-apply together, but it's gotta be project based.
And the deadline for the application is 17th.
Yeah, so I suggest sending that group text quickly.
Right, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, the timekeeper is over here. God, I see you.
I'm picking that up.
You said the list application is not available, so that's my concern, because you can only apply for one, and you're only gonna take the first one. You just have to wait and see what that application is. Do we know what that is funding specific?
Yeah, the housing and economic development.
Right, but do you have any more information? I mean, that's pretty broad. Any more information about what type of housing is it? Rental housing?
It doesn't.
Oh.
They got it. Sorry. Just so you guys know, let's receive $8 million, $30 million for the housing and economic development. But their application isn't available yet. They didn't partner with the other four. The other four received have the other 22.
Hi, I came in, I'm familiar with, the application process of the program. Two questions. Is the money, the $30 million, a line item in the budget? And if it's a line item in the budget, if it's a line item in the budget, then the different parts of the states normally with funding, has groups, advisory groups that actually prioritize how that funding is spent. Is that attached, or is this line item budget money attached to any of those, particularly the legislative caucuses that are across the state, because they all serve different regions? So are there task forces in the regions of the
No, this is it.
You're at the Black Legislative Task Force.
You said I'm acting.
Yeah, this is, this is
Yeah.
right?
I know.
So
My question
the
is,
line item
right, for what?
is for the, what's the title? The community.
Underserved communities.
It's underserved communities across the state.
Right, but some of the meets I've heard them talk about how this particular Black Legislative Task Force came together because they were Latino white.
Yeah, we're our own separate task.
That's what I'm saying. So there's a line item budget that is covering all of those or just this particular, the Black Legislative?
Oh, wait, hold on, let's be very clear. We advocated for this $30 million, right? We advocated for it. It's not ours. We advocated for $30 million for underserved communities. Puerto Rican Hispanic Task Force advocated as well, received $30 million. And API, $30 million.
That's what I want to.
Their applications are closed tomorrow.
Right, so with that being said, the conduit that everyone was talking about, is there gonna be a statewide conduit or is there going to be regional?
Well, this is one of our statewide conduits. This is United Way, New York Urban League, Elm Corps, LISC, FPWA, and that's it, right? Yeah.
Okay, I think that's a concern.
Okay, we're listening. Well, tell me later then. That's it?
Yeah.
No more questions? Okay. Is there one? Will there be one? You know, altar call now. Come on now. Will there be one? Sorry. I love her. Yes.
Since this is one-time funding, are any of your criteria for scoring based on whether it's a new program versus adding on or supporting existing programs?
So I can't really speak to that, but what I would say is make sure to apply. So if you are wanting to expand your current or create a new one, just apply and see what happens.
You can't answer any.
I know,
I feel your frustration.
I'll say this. I mean, when you look at what we're facing as a state, this is gonna be, and this is, yesterday made 5 years that I've been a state assemblyman. This, without a doubt, will be the toughest budget year that we've seen in my short tenure as a state assemblyman. So as it relates to this money, we fought for it. There's no guarantee that it will exist in years to come. So I wouldn't suggest starting a new program that you feel there's a need for the community. Like, if you already have programs that you've been serving this community with and you've been successful, I will look at ways to continue to fund those programs. Because it's going to be hard enough to fund existing programs, let enough alone trying to create something new and make sure that it's funded for years to come.
I agree, and I'm glad to hear that's the way you're looking at it.
But he's not the one reviewing applications.
So we're at 6:22. We're going to definitely close out one time at 7 o'clock. Are there any last comments, questions, suggestions? The mic is yours.
Just a quick comment. I think it needs to be reiterated that you mentioned that smaller orgs can go for the 100,000 tab, and just because I've heard a couple of people up here, you know, so I just want to say for the people in the back and in the middle, you know, there is another option, and that there's not this fight for these little bit of funds. There's funds to go around.
There's funds to go around, and the application makes it so that anyone under $1 million is applying for the $25,000, right?
No.
What Dorcia said is you can still do the application for the larger pot of funding. That's what she said. So this young lady wanted to make sure we reiterated that. Ultimately, what you need to do is apply, because we're still gonna look at your char 500, your 990, because we're going to see what you are able to even handle. We're not gonna give you more than you can handle. So just be mindful of that. Like, we're not going to just say, okay, well, you're right under a million and you've applied for the 400,000, whatever it may be, we're gonna look at those data points and make sure that it makes sense to even, grant you that funding.
Hi, Cynthia Elliott. I'm the place in Rochester Board of Education.
That's a little closer.
Of the year.
Stand a little closer to the mic.
My question and concern is, you mentioned the conduit of United Way. So how does that process work with United Way? We've had some concerns with United Way in this community in terms of how they did some funding. So how is that going to work? Will they get administrative dollars, right? So that's money that the organizations get. How is that going to work with United Way? Because quite frankly, there are many of us in this community who don't have the confidence in the United Way. So talk about how that process is going.
So first thing is, this is Therese Daly. She oversees all the United Way.
You're from Rochester?
No, she's not. She oversees all of them. So I want you to actually chat with her at some point with your concerns are. And who's the actual question?
Will it be operational for
My
us?
understanding, your question.
Well, let me ask the question again so I get clarity. What's your question for Therese Daly?
How is that process going to work with United Way being the oversight over the funding?
Like everybody else?
What, I don't know what that is. What does that mean?
Okay, so we are one of the, United Way of New York State, so I oversee all of the ones in New York State. My job is to be a fiscal conduit to the applications, not just to my United Ways. This money is not being funded through the United Ways, it's being funded through the applications. So that's one thing. Secondly, there is an administrative cost that will be capped for the applications. So
the United Way would get administrative dollars.
All the fiscal conduits will get administrative dollars.
yes, but just to clarify, the United Way of Rochester is not a fiscal conduit. United Way of New York State is.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
Thank
but
you for
let's
clarifying
chat.
that.
Yes, and let's chat after. I would love to
All right.
connect with
Thank
you,
you.
and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
I have a quick question. I didn't start out too good when I got here, past to pray over the food, and I had already, so I wanted to make my way. But let me see, let's you, Pastor, let me see if I can redirect my behavior, by asking this question. Let me see if I can redirect my behavior by asking this question. So, Therese, who is a fiscal conduit, was here today. What about faith-based institutions? Are they eligible to apply for this money? If so, what are the conditions they're eligible to apply for? See, Pastor, I got you. That's where I'm coming back.
Well, thank you, Assemblymember, for your question, and absolutely faith-based organizations are encouraged to apply, and we hold them to the same questions that you see on the application. Yes, are they a nonprofit? Do they have a chart 500? Do they have a 501c3 determination letter? Yes, absolutely.
also for school districts, like my son's school has a PTA, they have a nonprofit. I'm telling them, make sure you apply. So whoever has the nonprofit should be applying. And we're going to wrap at this point, since there's no more questions. And I would love for Pastor to come back and pray us on our,
Can I just make one statement before we leave?
Amen.
Understand that we are in a era with certain administrations who are utilizing their government capacity in an offensive way toward organizations that identify with the ones that you are trying to have, i.e. the ones that have the words Black, Latino, Hispanic, all of those things in their title. I can't prove it, but there's lies, there's damn lies, and then there's statistics. The statistics state that those organizations are being uncharacteristically targeted by the agencies that you're telling us that we have to get these documentations from, i.e. there are many 501c3s who are now under review, redetermination, and things of that sort that our less melanated counterparts are not experiencing and are not necessarily giving any help when we pick up the phone and call our congressional representatives who represent blue districts. So I want to make sure that in your evaluation of those types of situations where there are going to be organizations like ours
that may be in limbo, that may be under investigation, things of that sort, that we are dealing with that as an issue and that we don't get disqualified because we've been non-compliant with some of the activities that are coming from Washington, D.C. Am I making myself clear?
We hear you. We're on the same side you're on. You know, we've had situations where people change their name of their organization because of what's coming out of the federal government. Anybody dealing with immigration has sort of received funding cuts. We're with you. We have the state are doing our best, but there are requirements, right, that we have to have. There's documentation that we have to have. And elections matter. That's what I'll leave it on. Elections matter. I guess if you have a question, talk about it. Y'all trying to keep passing here all night. You want to go home? I'm joking. We had a set.
I just want to get clear, the application is due on 17th?
Yes.
5 p.m. 5 p.m. And then
5 p.m. Eastern
when I
Standard.
asked about the grant for those at $500,000, and then she was speaking, and I kind of missed what she was saying. That we can still apply
For the larger fund.
for the large funding, and our cap is 100.
If you're under $1 million.
If you're under $1 million.
Yeah, and that's actually in your chart.
Yeah, in the FAQ.
It's on your page.
So we're reiterating for the third time. Just if you are an organization that's under $1 million, you still apply for the larger funding.
Okay.
The cap is still gonna be at the 100,000.
Okay, thank you.
Just remember, you cannot apply for both.
Great. Take a track.
To choose one. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And you guys don't have to give us some grace. I mean, you can choose not to. But this is, like I said, the first time that we're doing this. And so of course, we're gonna be kinks that we're all trying to work out. Our first listening tour, no other group is doing this. And so we are here taking the fire, trial by fire up in here. But trust me, because we care, we want the money to go where it's supposed to go. We want to take care of the people it's supposed to take care of. So that's why we're willing to sit up here and take all kind of stabs and we shouldn't, could have, would have done. It's all right, as long as our people are taken care of. That's what matters, right? Woo! So Rochester, we keep allowed pass to the, oh wait, hold on.
That's the application.
See, so I'm saying, see is in charge. So see, once, make sure that you see this QR code here. This is our feedback. If you think,
That's the application.
oh shoot, this application, see it? No, listen to me. Just see it.
Sorry.
I made you the chair.
Because you made the executive director.
Oh, okay, right.
Just wanted to know that this is the application. Feel free to scan the QR code, to fill it out, just so you have it.
Yeah, see? Yeah. All right, Pastor, they gonna let you come home now. Okay, oh, they want offering, come on.
Second. Lock the doors. Lock the doors. Should have knocked the door. Hey, not locked the doors.
Where's the 1,000?
Let's see if this sentence voice right here. Listen, we're getting ready to go. We appreciate you all so much for hanging out with us, allowing us to host you, all right? Father, we love you tonight. Thank you for opening our eyes. Thank you for opportunities. Thank you for these individuals that's gathered and with desire to serve this community. God, I pray as this task force continue to travel throughout the state, Lord, continue to protect them and keep them safe. Lord, forgive Khalil for using any message. Blessings that they leave this place for them in your presence in Jesus' name.
I'm going to right here.